All right, friends, we're just going to wait for this to flip over to live here. Just going to do some banter here in the beginning, just in case any of this gets pre-recorded. Hello, hello. And here we are. Of course, my volume is up. Okay, there we go. Hello. Hey there, friends. Welcome to Wednesday Live over here. It's been a hot second since I've been on here live with you guys. It feels I feel a little out of practice, but that's okay. I am just going to sit and chat here for a minute until probably not for too long. I actually have a meeting today at 1 o'clock my time, so in an hour. So I've got to cut this one a little bit short in order to go make it to that meeting. But I was really glad that the meeting was at 1 so that I could still come on for an hour. I was worried I was going to have to postpone this until later in the day, and it turns out that it was just fine. So that is super cool. Today I am working with Colorcast Design's products from the July release. Hey, Jenny. Yay! Hi, Jenny. It's good to see you on here. Yes, I'm working with Colorcast Design products. So I've got the July, this was the July release. Well, it's the June release for July. Yes. And I've got 3 projects to work on today that I've got all the photos and journaling done for. I had one other one that is for my niece, but I don't have the journaling for that one yet, so I can't complete it. So let's see, some updates and some housekeeping. This month we're in July. So for, since last time I've been on here, we did find a house. We are in the process of getting our loan under wraps and closing it. We're going to be closing on both our house and the house that we're selling and the house that we're moving into at the end of July. And then we'll be moving at the end of August. So lots of fun stuff happening. Hi, Janine. So yeah, it's just keeping busy over here, which is fun, I suppose. It's a lot, but it's okay. Oh, my computer just beeped at me. It's okay. Anyway, but I'm really excited. I'm so excited to get into my new space eventually and figure out the whole new setup and, get some, I've been wanting to do, a video program where I can hook in 2 video sources so I can, you guys can see me face to face and you can see my desk at the same time. And when I have my next craft room, that's something that I'm going to be looking into doing, which is really exciting. But for now, we're just still at the janky, having to move the cameras from one mount to the other. Anyway, let me get you guys turned around. I'm going to pull my projects over here on the desk, and then we're just going to get to work. I'm going to stay on here until about 12:45, 12:50, and then we'll be done after that so that I can go and make it to my 1 o'clock meeting. So let's get you guys turned around. Here we go. Oh, so, all the janky style. It's all great. Which just goes to show you guys that you don't have to have everything perfectly aligned and set up in order to still make it work. I feel like I'm crooked. Let me adjust here because I'm definitely crooked up here. That's a bit better. Anyway, yeah, you don't have to have all your ducks in a row. You can just kind of wing it and go for it. That is the name, that's the name of my game. Let's just wing it and make it happen. All right, so we've got 3 different projects to work on today. All 3 of these were from my Colorcast, this way. They were from my Colorcast Design project planning video, which came out on Monday. So I've got a story here, which I'm using another one of these. What do you guys think of this? So this was something new that I did this month just for funsies, to grab some magazines and try to turn them into scrapbook layouts. It's been kind of fun for me, at least. I've enjoyed it. So this one, if you guys didn't know, I actually got to meet my friend Kasha, who is Kasha K. Gage on Instagram. And she and I met up in person for dinner with her husband and my husband and kids. gosh, last month. And it was so cool to be able to meet a crafty friend in person. She's originally from Michigan, which is where I live. And they came here to visit some family. So we got a chance to meet up. It was so cool. All right, I need to remember what this measurement is. So this is 4.5. So I've got a 4.5 by about 5.5 inch photo here. I already printed my journaling out on 6x8. Well, it's a 6x8 canvas. I put my journaling down here at the bottom. And then this is going to go at the top, and I'm going to add this piece. So this is my inspiration piece. I'm going to cut out a piece from here to add to the bottom of this, and then put my title stuff on top. So what I need is 4.5. Now the question is, do I want more of the darker pink color? And also I took the backing off of this one, which makes it like really pretty, but also it makes it so I would see all of the stitching. So I think I'm gonna maybe stitch it onto the page. So let me see here. If I have this here and I use more of the pink, let's maybe go this way. Okay, so if we have more of that dark pink on there, or more of the light pink. I'm going to go with the light pink because you can see the acrylic piece a lot better with it being that. Oops. So, but I don't really want this like, I don't really want that. It's kind of like dusty. I don't know. Okay, so 4.5 inches wide. That should be good. This is an older, I think, Heidi Swap paper. But I have no idea. I don't even think this might not exist anymore. But I really loved it because it had these super like pink on red words on the back, and I thought that was so pretty. Okay, so we are going to. Okay, I'm thinking I want to put this kind of on top here. I haven't looked at this, so I designed it in the computer before printing it all out, but I didn't look at that today to remember what are my measurements, because I don't remember my measurements. Okay, so we're gonna go like there, and then that gives me maybe like 2 inches. Okay, let's see if I cut this to 2 inches, what that looks like. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. It's been really fun. I felt like last month, was it? I was just kind of feeling a little bit in a rut and wanted something different to try, just to like do something fun. And then this idea, I don't even know where I got this. I'm not the first person to ever think of this. But it just came up, it came up, and I was like, that could be really fun to try doing. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it too. Now, does that cover up too much of the word? Awesome. Because I don't really want to put it under. I kind of like it right here at the bottom, because then you can still see that it says awesome. This has no adhesive on the back, so let's fix that. And then most of the time Colorcast has the adhesive already on the back of all of their pieces. I believe that this time the creative team members weren't, because we got sent ours a little bit early. So I think it was before they got that part added. So we're going to put cherish this at the bottom. And then this has like a rounded corners type thing, or angled corners. So I'm thinking if I were to just grab some scissors. You want to hear about my new house? Ooh, I am happy to oblige. So our new house is the town over from where we live. So we were trying to stay in the same town that we live in now. But nothing was coming up that we really liked. That honestly, nothing came up that we liked more than the house we already live in. So we were like, well, we're not going to move to a different house just to like our own house better. Like, that makes no sense. So we, make sure I'm doing this right. We decided to expand out to the 2 neighboring towns, which is funny because I grew up in Fenton. That's where we live. I grew up here my entire life, and my dad grew up here too. So I was second generation, and now Izzy and Jonah have lived here for a period of time as well. And because I grew up here, you know, you have certain like like certain prejudices against the towns that you're next to. Probably because we were like school rivals, and you know, there's all that stuff. So there's the town that borders us, or that's our neighbor basically, that I was like, I don't want to look there because that's that town, you know. That town's no good, which is just, you know, being judgmental from when I was younger. And then eventually we decided, well, let's just kind of give it a try and see what we think, and we'll look out there. And then we found the perfect house, of course. So we are moving to a neighbor town. It's about 5 minutes away from where we live right now, which is kind of nice, which means that we're still super close to all of our family, and it allows us to still use them for babysitting, which is, you know, that was one of our conditions, is that we wanted to be able to still like have our kids go over there. You know what, hold on, I'm gonna go grab some more of my floss because I don't want yellow. So let me go grab, I want like a pink, a hot pink. So we found this house. We love it. It's a 2-story home with a basement. So in Michigan, we have basements. I know that that's not every, I want this one. That's not every state's case, but for us, we have basements in Michigan. And, the basement for us is a big deal. It's where we do a lot of our like hanging out, and we keep our TV in the basement so that it's not in our main living room, and all of that. So we wanted a basement. We preferred for it to be finished, but then we found this house that that we were able to get for a price that allows us to finish it ourselves. So like we have enough left over after buying it to finish the basement. So that's what we're gonna do. So it's got 4 bedrooms and an office space. So Aaron will have his own office, and I am getting a bedroom, which means I'm going to have a craft room that has a window to the outside. I'm very excited about that. I won't have to like, you know, go seclude myself to the dark basement to go craft anymore. It also means that I'm going to have to figure out like videoing, like how do I can't get this. How do I, there we go. How do I get my lighting right with a window with like natural light added in? So, you know, it'll be a learning process. That's okay. What else? It has a nice kitchen. It's got an island in the kitchen, which we have not had here at our house now, and we've really wanted one. Ouch. So, you know, there's a lot of really good stuff about it, and I probably should have just done that. I should have poked a hole here too. So nowhere to go. Okay, but we're going to start on the other side. So yeah, we're really excited about it. It'll be good. The school that Izzy's going to go to, because she's going to go to school in a public school next year. I'm not homeschooling her anymore. You know, we feel comfortable enough to send her where we didn't last year. So just because of COVID. So the school that she's going to attend is right across the street from our neighborhood. So that's also really cool. And it goes from kindergarten to 8th grade. So she'll be in there for a while, which is also kind of nice. We're excited about it. Okay. So there's that one on that side. So this is what I'm going to do to hold the acrylic piece on here so that I don't have to add adhesive to the back. Yeah, that way it keeps it all. Okay, and then you are going to go there and there. Thinking, what if I just like, who cares? Let's do the string across the whole back. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Yeah, so I'm excited about it too. I'm going to get a bigger table from my sister. She's had a sewing table at her house, but she's not really sewing or doing anything with it. So she offered it to me, and it's huge. Like the desk space that I use right now is actually a folding table, a folding camp table that you can raise up to the height of a countertop. So I've been using this for, you know, 4 years or whatever, and it is a 2 foot, it's 2 foot deep by 4 feet wide. So it's really, really small, but it's been fine. It's worked out fine for me. And the table that she's giving me is 5 feet wide, or might be deep. It's 5 foot by 6 foot. So it's like massive. Which means it'll be, you know, I'll be able to use underneath for storage, and I'll probably get different lights that go on top of the table instead of behind it. I'm going to ceiling mount my camera piece. Like, there's so much I'm excited about. I have been trying to film some craft room tour stuff or some craft room organization stuff in my current space. My goal is to get it all done before we pack it all away so that I can show like what my space looks like right now. And then when I get set up in the new house, I can do it again and show what it's like there. But I've got my current space pretty much, you know, like it's super functional. Like it's really good. So I figured that it would be good to share that. But was that always on there? Interesting. But those videos are the hardest ones to film. I don't know why. I don't know why those ones, like, I don't know. They're just hard because then you have to have like good lighting, and you show your face a lot more in it. So I always have to make sure, you know, like that I have showered recently and stuff. I don't know why they're so difficult. But I've got my like general tour done, and I've got my stamp tour done. It's just all the rest of them that I want to film. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to add adhesive to this because that's going to be obnoxious once I get the other piece done. And then we're going to move this. So it'll be really interesting to do the move, you know, and have to figure that out. We get to move into our new house the weekend before school starts. So it's like, you know, it was supposed to be a couple weeks before that, but then everything got delayed and all this stuff. So now it's just gonna be a super chaotic August. But it's okay. It does allow us to go on a trip to visit my sister-in-law down in North Carolina before everything starts. So my sister-in-law just had a baby, so we have another niece now, and we want to go and meet her. So that is in the plans. All right, so I need to date stamp this, and of course I didn't, you know, like write down the date that this was, because, you know, why would I do that? So I will have to look that up later and date stamp it, because it would be nice to know the actual day that we met up. But anyway, so here is this one. Pretty plain and simple. And that's where this is the like inspiration. So there we go. I probably could have like I kind of like those marks on it, but that's all right. I don't really want to do that. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I like this stitched on there. That's a nice touch. So I'll have to remember that for the future, and that wasn't that hard. Okay, so let me put that one to the side and we will grab the next one. That's true, Jenny, that I can at least unpack while she's in school. That's a really good point because, you know, we'll have one kid out of our hair, and then Jonah I'm going to look at putting into preschool. Although it'll be daycare for him for like a month. Honestly, I might just wait until he's 3, which is at the end of September, because technically here in Michigan, or at least at the centers where we've gone, they start preschool at the age of 3. And then it costs more if they're less than 3. So it would be like 1 month because he turns 3 at the end of September. So, you know, the whole thing. All right, so next. The next one we're doing here is one I don't have a photo for. Okay, never mind. We're not doing this one. Put that one back away. You know what? Here's what we'll do. I'm going to get this piece backed is what I'm going to do. I forgot that I needed to print photos. Whoops. I know. Seriously, Jenny, like, I don't even know. It'll be so amazing to just have the entire day to do what I want to do. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because it gets hard to, like, you know, there's just a lot. There's a lot that I want to do in a day, and I definitely don't get to that. I don't get as much done as I would like to, but it's okay. I try to just enjoy for now that we get to hang out together, and then that's, you know, not something that will be forever. So to just enjoy it. But yes, when I have all that time, watch out. Watch out, world, is all I got to say. Okay, so this one, this is a piece I got from Colorcast Design, but I got it in like a grab bag. So it didn't have the inside pieces. It only had the outline pieces. So what I thought I could do, and we'll see how this works, is to stick some colorful paper behind it and then just kind of trim around it and see if that can back it. We'll see how that works because, you know, I don't know. Hey, Emma. Oh, hey, Jessica. Yay. So glad you guys are all here. So yeah, Jessica, I was saying how, like, so this one was in one of your grab bags. So I don't have the inside pieces. So I figured, why not try it this way? We'll see if it works. Except I forgot to print photos. So this one I'm planning to print photos from a day when we went to go get ice cream. Whoops. I wonder, I could probably get the 2x2s out of this too. I might try that. To back the popsicles with. Yes. We shall see. So what have you guys all been up to lately? Anybody have anything cool? Grown and gone. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that you get you get your granddaughter, which that's super exciting. She's so cute. And that's the best, is when, like, when someday I'm a grandma, that would be like just the dream. To be able to stay and to be able to help out with the babies. Okay. Yes, so anyway, what are you guys all up to? How has everyone's summer been going? And whatnot. I know, Emma, you're at home right now. I saw that on our Facebook group. Okay. I like totally bombarded all of you guys on Tuesday with like a million things. Sorry. I just didn't want to forget to put them all in there, like all the different events. I was like, well, it'll be all right. Okie dokie. So far, this is probably going to work. So that is positive. I will definitely say for stuff like this, these little like tiny fussy cutting scissors are highly necessary. Like I would not be able to do. It's a lot harder to work with like these. Well, I guess these are okay, but I still prefer my smaller ones. I will say, like for me, the reason why I have both of these and why I often use both of these, I like my cutter bees for actually fussy cutting most of my things. I like my tonic ones for when I'm cutting through chipboard. So a lot of times I make my own chipboard. Like this is an example. So like that's a homemade chipboard where I've taken my printout. So this is printed on white matte photo paper, and I add it onto a sheet of chipboard, and then I use these scissors to cut it out because it cuts through it so nicely. Whereas it's a lot more difficult. Like you have to apply a lot more pressure with these. So, you know, they all have their use. But I definitely like these ones for work like this, because they're just easier to maneuver. I don't know. Maybe it's just what I'm used to. Oh, let's see what you guys have been up to. Watching YouTube videos for how to start using a folder for stories. I'm overwhelmed. Emma, what do you mean by that? A folder for stories? Like a place to just kind of keep them? Or what do you mean by that? So maybe we can help make it not so overwhelming. And then 2-week vacation to the Smoky Mountains. I'm so jealous of you, Jessica. That sounds amazing. And 2 weeks is amazing. Like 2 weeks in a row? I can't even fathom that. Like, that's awesome. Did your whole family go with you, Jessica? No camp, full mama mode. Jenny, do your kids play like pretty independently? Because your kids are a little older, right? So are they fairly independent with their play? Where it allows you to be able to work on some of your own stuff? Or are they kind of like need you guys around? The albums with the clear pages. Oh, okay. So you're using traveler's notebooks for your crafting, and you're thinking about doing a story album, like a 6x8 album sort of deal that's got the pages, the page protectors. Ooh. I think that's what you might mean. Okay, and then I'm gonna try to see if this can be into 2x2s, because that would be nice. And we'll see if it looks good or not. So this worked out. So there we go. That worked out. I'm happy with that. It's all in there. And then this, we're going to trim into a couple of these and just kind of see what we think about this with those popsicles on top. Because that was my plan, was to put the popsicles in with all of this. So let's find out. So that's going to go on top of a photo with some journaling underneath it, according to my sketch. So I don't have my photos for this because I forgot that I needed photos. So that's kind of cool. And then you should go like that. No. Is that how you go? No. Where do you guys go? Definitely go that way. I don't know. This is kind of cool though, how it all goes in a row. So then you guys can go in a row and you can go down there. All right, let's see what we think about this. So I've got these cute little popsicle guys. The 6x8, okay. All right, Emma, I'm going to bring one of mine over here in a little bit, and I'll show you, I'll kind of explain how I use mine, and we'll see if that helps at all. It might not, but we'll see if it helps make it a little less daunting. Actually, let's put you there and then you there. I don't know if I like that. But here's what I could do. I could keep these and use those to back my photos and then put these on like some like plastic and have them just be floating. I think that would be cute. So maybe we'll do that. Or maybe I want to do like, it's on the back of this. Definitely not. So I think for now, I'm just going to keep these in my packet here, and then we'll decide later if those make it onto the page, because I'm not totally sold, but I might as well just keep it in there. And then this I'll put back in here because now it's backed, ready to go. And this all just needs to go back in the pocket until I print my pictures, which I forgot to do. So let's just everything back in. We'll set that to the side so I remember this time to print pictures. So, oh, hey, Rachel. Yay. I'm so glad that you guys were able to come and hang out today. It does feel like I feel like it's been so long. I keep thinking I'm going to do a Thursday one, and then stuff just keeps getting in the way here at home and preventing me from doing it. So eventually I want to get back to doing some kind of weekly live on YouTube, and then to have the lives here on Instagram during the day. Not Instagram. Patreon during the day. Okay, so this one's going to be fun and pretty easy. This one is another like magazine hack, which is pretty fun. And what I'm going to do is take these 3 pieces. This one says summertime, summertime, summertime. And then I've got the sun that I'm planning to put on top of it, and Adventure Awaits next to it. We'll just stick that as high up to the top as we can. And that's going to pair with this page over here, which is just basically a stick it down page. Okay, so this one I can go ahead and do since I know where that's going to go. This one I am documenting a trip that we went on to Mackinac, and I have not done like a traveler's notebook thing for it yet. I'm planning to, but I just haven't had a chance yet. I saw another one. Where are you at? I know I saw, oh, you know, you're right here. I think, yes. Just a couple of pieces still in the center, which are super easy to just pop out. There we go. So anyway, yeah, I haven't had a chance yet to document the trips. This is one I want to do. It'll just be a pretty simple one because we were only there for like a day. And then the other travel I've got lately, where else did we go? Was this the only trip we did recently? No, I did one to Traverse City. So we went up to Traverse City for a wine tour, so I've got that one to document as well. And then at the end of this month, we are going to North Carolina to visit my sister-in-law. So that will be another kind of short one. So those will all probably be traveler's notebook sized. And then in November, my little sister is getting married in Mexico, and we're going there for an entire week. So that is probably going to be a larger album, just because I'm sure we'll have a lot from that trip. Okay, so let's get you on there. That's good. Put this on there. Top, and then this little guy on there too. So here is that. Okay, and it's all even with the top, so it's not any higher than the photo on the back, which is good. So I don't have to worry about that in the album. I'm going to set that to the side, and then let's work on this side here. So what I like to do when I have a bunch of pieces like this is I like to just add a teeny bit of adhesive into the middle. And then this is 8 inches. So I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be even with that somewhere in there. And we're just going to like place it and press down in the middle. And then we can adjust these guys too, make sure everything is straight and even, you know, before we commit to sticking it down. So that's just like what I like to do to make sure that everything is even with each other. There's a lot less space in between that than I thought. So maybe I want to actually put this down further too. So then I can do this one. Okay. And then that one. And this one here. So it lets me decide, like, does it look even? Does it look crooked? You know? And go from there. Which I feel like, I feel like this one needs to go a bit over more. That one needs to go a bit over more, and then this can actually go a tiny bit over as well. And then that should be good, I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call that good. Okay, and then we can stick it all down. So yeah, so this is my niece. There's Mabel. So for this trip, we went to Mackinac Island to go to my husband's best friend's wedding. So he and his friend have been, well, really, Aaron and his brother Alex have been friends with Brandon, whose wedding we went to, since they were 3. So almost to the point where they're kind of like pseudo brothers to each other. So we went to their wedding, and it was a kid-free wedding except for babies. So my niece got to come, and he also has a nephew that came that was a baby. So it was kind of nice to go on a trip without the kids, because it forced us to go on a trip without the kids, and that was kind of nice. But then at the same time, you know, we missed them, and it would have been fun for them to go too. But that's okay. It gave us some time to spend with our niece while we were there, which we don't often get to do without other kids demanding attention. So, by which I mean mine. So that was fun. It was really good to be able to spend time with them, with all of them. Okay, so let's put that on here. There's that one. 2 more. Good morning, Mary Felicity. Yeah, so if you've never been to Mackinac Island, it is an island, you know, off of the northern side of Michigan. And on Mackinac, there are no motorized vehicles. So you get around by horse and carriage. And like when you call a taxi, the taxi is a horse and carriage. And I think it's like 8 miles around the outside of the island. So you can bike. You can bike there. You can rent horses and like horseback ride around the island. Like it's really cool. It's very like old-fashioned feeling to be there. There's a big fort on the island from like World War II era, I think. So that's where we went here, was to go visit the fort. That's really what all of these pictures were from. We're from the fort. But it's a really cool place. There's like restaurants on the water that you can go sit at and get food or drinks and that sort of thing. There's ghost tours, and, you know, there's a glow in the dark putt-putt that you can do on the island. It's very cool. It's a very cool place to take the family and to just go and enjoy time with friends. For us, it's like a 3.5 to 4 hour drive away from where we live, so it's not too terrible. to go there, and just a really good time. I want to bring the kids back at some point because I think they would really like it too. So that is that. So that one was super quick and easy too. So what I'm going to do, for those of you who didn't see, I've got this one. We only did 2 today. We got that one done, and we got this one done here. So there's like 3 of them, and all of these are not 3 by 8s. They're 6 by 8, so they'll go inside of a page protector. They're not going to be hole punched. Then we got that other piece backed. So some simple things, but you know, it's all good. And then let me bring over one of my story albums. I don't think I've done this one yet. Okay, so let me show you one that is done and one that is not done. So, okay, let's just do this. Actually, I'll put this one away. I shamelessly have a lot of story albums because it is the primary way. It's the primary way that I tell stories is through more of a story lens. So I've got my project life albums that are more chronological. Not more, I mean, they are chronological. And then I've got my story albums that are not chronological at all. So what I've got 3 different ones that I mean, that's a lie. I have lots of different sizes. So 6 by 8 is my primary story album size. And Emma, if you are looking to start something like this, the 6 by 8 is a really, it's a really, what I want to say, approachable. That's what I'm looking for. It's an approachable size. So in these, this one is not quite finished, but these are where I put most of the projects that I work on. So I've got like, this is that story from the evening kit about my husband and I generally don't stick anything together until the album is completed. So like you can see there's space in between here. Those will eventually stick together and then it just moves on. So these are completely random where the stories are. So I've got like the story of me and Aaron when we were, you know, in our young 20s. And then I've got my current favorite shows from February. And then I've got some pictures from being outside from February. Again, another one that just needs to stick together. Here's one that's a story about my kids, you know, or parenting, you know, life right now, things that are awesome. Another one about winter. So those will stick together. There's a story that I did about Aaron and I from Valentine's Day. So they're just totally random in here. And what happens is as I fill things in, wherever it fits, it sticks. So like right now I've got this spot open where I need a story to go in there. And I may, you know, like take note of this, and the next time I do my story planning, say like, okay, I need a story, or I need to design a page where I've got 2 by 2s on the left and I have this like 4 by 8.25 or whatever, however big this is, on the right. So maybe like a full page photo here and some smaller photos and maybe journaling spots. I don't know. And that just depends on whatever kit I'm working with. So I've got, you know, all kinds of them in here from all different brands. Here's another example of a spot where I'm missing something. So this could just be a quick, simple, easy, throw a card in, throw a photo in, and that tells a story. Or I could end up putting something else in here, you know, to pair with it. It just kind of depends. And, you know, here's another one that's just waiting for a story. So there is just there's literally no rhyme or reason. This one I've got circles and squares and a big photo that can go there. Yeah, it's random. I will say that if I were starting over, that I would probably divide these up in some different ways to make them easier to find the stories that you're looking for. When I originally began this idea, I just thought like it would be cool to just have volumes of stories. And so that's how these are set up. Like this would be, family story album, volume 6, which I've got my label that I made. So I've got Our Stories, volume 6. Which is everything that does not specifically tell a story about my daughter or my son. They have their own. So like here's Isabella's that I actually need to film a flip through of. So her first one is done. I need to create a title page, and then everything else is done in here. So this is all only her, or like her specific relationship to other people. I know like she loves giraffes. So I told a whole story about how she loves giraffes and, all different kinds of things. I had her give me a gratitude list. So I wrote down her gratitude list and told a story. When I'm working with story kits, I will generally tell at least one story about each of the kids with them. Some Halloween stories. So just all different kinds of stuff is in here, but it's all Isabella. And then I've got another separate one for Jonah. And these, again, I did in volumes. So like this is volume 1. Now, if I were to do these again, the kids ones, I would just keep the same, because generally, as you tell stories and fill them up, like I will put like volume 1 on here, and then I'll stamp the first day that I created a spread for it, and then the last, like the day the first spread was created and the day the last spread was created. So that gives me a time frame of, like when are these stories from? But they're not in order from like beginning to end. They're just random. For the family ones, I probably would have preferred to do an album that was like just me, and an album that was just my husband, and then an album that was everybody else. Or to do one that's like me and Aaron, and then to do another one that's our extended family. So that if we were looking for a story about like my grandpa, then we could go look in that album that's like grandparent album. I don't know. I think that they could be definitely further divided, but this is how I started, and so this is just what I'm going to do for now, because it still makes sense for me. Like I'm still able to find what I want to find. And honestly, when you open any one of these, it's kind of a surprise what's inside, and that's exciting in and of itself. This is my most recent one. So like I brought that other one over here before, and it's not completed yet. But even while that one's not completed, I have started another one, because I don't necessarily want to add more into it. I just want to finish those last couple spots. So this one has, like some strong stories, some laugh stories, just whatever fits, it sticks. And then this will build up over time and hold those stories. So for me, the way to make it not overwhelming is to, for now, what I would suggest is to get an album and to use whatever product that you're purchasing right now to help you tell stories that spark for you, whether that's a story about right now in your life or a story about earlier in your life, something about you, something about a loved one, whatever it is. Whatever story it is that you are feeling compelled to tell right now, tell that story. But when you are doing your album, since you don't necessarily, or you might not know right this second how you want to divide it all up, that's okay. As long as it's in pockets, or as long as it's not stuck back to back with another story, you can move them around. So you have a little bit of flexibility there where you can just start in one. And then if you decide, actually, I want this to be 2 different ones, then you can just take the portions out and put them in the different album. So it allows for that if you want it to. If this size is too daunting, like if that is what is feeling overwhelming, you can do the exact same thing in a traveler's notebook. I have a traveler's notebook I'm working in right now. That is the same thing. It's a story album in a traveler's notebook size. And this is what I mean, that like, I can say I only have 3, but that's a lie, because I do, like I have this one, and this is random. So like random story there, random story there, random story there. They're just all like randomly in here because it just was whatever sparked for me. I wanted to get it in the album and tell that story. So, a traveler's notebook can work the same way, where it's not necessarily like this whole album is everything about, you know, the month of July. This is just like, I randomly want to tell a story, so I'm gonna throw it in there. And then if you prefer a larger size, if larger is easier, then you can go bigger too. So I've got the 6x8 albums, and I've got a traveler's notebook, and then I also have a 12x12, which I can put in 12x12, 6x12, 9x12, whatever size I feel. When starting out with something like this, I recommend picking a size and just starting in that size. And then when it starts to feel like a little boring, you know, like, okay, I'm kind of tired of the 6x8 size, then maybe add in something different. Maybe it's adding in traveler's notebook sized projects, but you put them temporarily in a 6x8 album. And then if you really like that, then you could transition to a traveler's notebook. Or if you're like, okay, I want to go bigger, then you could just try a couple of them out before you fully commit to, I'm doing a 12x12 album. And if you end up liking it, you know, then you can transition to that or whatever it is. So it's just, I think it's just like making an initial commitment to a size, which for me was 6x8, and then telling stories for that specifically until I felt ready to try out different sizes, if that makes sense. And it's whatever you feel compelled to tell, I think, is my best advice. So, yes, Jenny, I see your comment about different decades and elementary, high school, college. I think that that's awesome, you know? Okay, and Emma, you like it being structured. So then maybe the stories that you tell, let me see. I have bought 6x8, okay. Or how far back to go being new to the journey of memory keeping. So if I were you, you've got your 6x8, I would tell stories about right now. I think that's gonna be the easiest as opposed to going back. If you tell stories about right now too, it'll feel a little less random. Whereas like if you're doing now and early and, you know, this person and that person, that'll feel a little more random. Where the randomization could come in and make it less overwhelming, unless you enjoy like knowing exactly what you have to work with on the back. Like if you know, okay, this is my next spread, you know, or my next spread starts with this and it can have anything on the right. Then you could work it that way, where it's like, okay, you know, you tell this story and then the back of that becomes your next story and the back of that becomes your next story. So if that is an easier way for you to work your way through stories like that, and that could even help you come up with the designs of what you want to, you know, what you want to put on your page, then that works. For me, I just kind of go off of whatever I've got. So like you guys, I'm sure have seen many of my planning videos. It's pretty, I don't use any of this to help me decide on those. I just kind of decide on that and then figure out later where they're going to go in. But if that is overwhelming, then you could do the same thing, but have it be consecutive. You know, so it's like, all right, if I, you know, my last page here is a 6x8 full page photo, then that is the canvas that I'm starting with when coming up with my design for what I want, you know, how I want to tell my story, if that makes sense. It's really whatever feels the best for you. Whatever's going to help you to not only use your product, but more importantly, to tell the stories of your life, you know, and get that process going. Sometimes getting started is the hardest part. All right, you guys, it is officially 12:55. Which means I need to get out of here so I can go make my meeting in 5 minutes here. So thank you all for coming over and hanging out here on this live with me. I really appreciate you guys, and it's fun to be able to chat and, you know, be here with you. So yes, I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day. what is today, Wednesday? Tomorrow you'll see a Project Life spread come out, and then I'll be back again next week with some Ali Edwards, right? Is next week's, yeah, next week's Ali Edwards Laugh. So looking forward to that. All right, friends, have a good one, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.